2004, I was the second full-time employee in Wombat. I think whenever I joined the company, I had a turnover around $500,000, and one of the first things we did was open the centre in Belfast. And over really 4 years, we grew dramatically, and we sold when the company had revenues of heading for $30 million, and then actually continued to grow after that. And the team in Belfast was very fundamental to that success. Now, this was the engine room of the company. The sales and centre of heart, as you would call it, was in New York, but the engine room was well and truly in Belfast.
Okay, so what was Wombat worth when you sold it?
Well, it was a cash deal for $200 million. So obviously that's a lot of growth over 4 or 5 years, and then there was some pretty good employee retention on top of that.
Okay, so then you went to the NYSE, and what was the deal there? I mean, you've left it. What happened, or did you sell it, or what actually happened?
Well, basically with the NYSE, we spent a couple of years integrating Wombat into the technology segment, if you like, but also there were 5 or 6 other companies from around the world that we integrated into one business. And I think after that integration process was completing successfully, it was almost like one big phase was complete for me, so it seemed like a natural time to move on and start thinking about the next thing.
Okay, well, you're thinking about the next thing now, Danny, right? But tell us this, a little bit about the business environment that you're currently working in. The private sector in Northern Ireland is small by all different regional standards, right? What do you think is maybe one or the most important or the second most important? Give us 1 or 2 points as to what you think is important here that could help grow the private sector. What should the strategy be if you were the enterprise minister? What would you be doing to help grow the private sector?
Well, I think there's really 2 components. The first is, I think InvestNI and Daddy have been very successful over the last 5 years in bringing firms like Citigroup, the NYSE expansion into Northern Ireland, and really getting laser focus on financial sector. I think that effort appears to be gaining a critical mass, and I would expect to see over the next year or so 2 or 3 more big deals. And I think we really need to keep a lot of focus on gaining and growing that momentum and really building that sector. I think it can be a 5,000 person sector, 10,000 person sector, 5 to 10 years from now. So I think the government, InvestNI and Daddy have really got it right in terms of picking a sector which is finance, and really working very, very hard to bring jobs here. And I can't emphasize how much work people like InvestNI, Dr. Paisley, Martin McGuinness, Arlene Foster all put into ensuring that NYSE went to the next level in Belfast. But I think it's equally important that we get a lot of focus on growing successful Indigenous companies. What is going to be the next Wombat or the next First Derivatives? And there's a lot of other successful companies, Almac, Randox. There are some genuine multinationals that have actually grown organically in Northern Ireland. So the difficult part for me is how the government here, InvestNI, structure a package to really let those companies emerge successfully. And I think they're doing some things right today, but I think there probably needs to be fundamental thought and change around how that is approached.
And when you say it needs fundamental change around what was proposed, well, what do you mean exactly? What do you have in mind, or what do you think is the key to unlocking or the key to helping these smaller businesses grow?
Well, I think the first key for me is helping them realize that Northern Ireland is a very small part of the global market today. So any company that is successful in Northern Ireland in a general sector has the potential to grow and be successful in the UK stage, across Europe, and then globally. But I do think that we need to educate the companies, the management teams, and first of all give them the ambition to do that, but also provide guidelines and help in terms of how to do that.
But is it true, right, in a business sense, that business is a bit like an oak tree? Acorns may grow into oak trees.
Well, acorns may grow into oak trees, but I think the stats are still that 90% of businesses fail in the first 5 years, and of the 10% that succeed after 5 years, maybe 10% of those actually go on to be substantial companies with 10, 20 million pounds worth of revenue. So I think there's obviously a lot of entrepreneurial spirit in Northern Ireland. I think the focus has to be on taking the successful companies and helping them get to the next level much quicker than they otherwise would.